So you're streaming on your game, yeah, right now. Ready up, I'm fitting to show you how I get down. Yeah, for sure, we can tell you sometimes we can make it game better. But gamers life, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you guys want to come and just we're out to the shop?
Hey everybody, Little Bruce Gamer here. Today we're at the eBass Spring Final in Washington, D.C. You know, it's their first time in the United States since 2019. Anyways, today I'm here with Nicholas. Introduce yourself.
My name is Nicholas Estrup, Chief Innovation Officer, so I'm responsible for conceptualizing all these big shows that we bring around the world, and this is one of those, and we're excited to be in DC.
So, as everybody knows, this is a video game again. What was the first video game you ever played?
Wow, that's a great question. I probably played something that I wasn't old enough to play at the time. I think that's pretty much what everyone did. I remember playing, I think it was called Sensible Soccer. I'm from Europe, so soccer is obviously the big deal there. But it was a soccer game where you essentially just chose which path to run. So you know all the games now where you have full free movement. There I just said run to the right, and then I sat and waited to see what happened. Crazy game. But I think highlight, Grand Theft Auto, the first ever Grand Theft Auto. Snuck out, went to my friend's house to play it because my mom wouldn't allow it, and here we are.
So tell us a little bit more about this event.
Sure. So this is the conclusion of our half-year season. So our competitive year in Counter-Strike and the ecosystem we've built runs in two halves of the year. Each conclude with a final. This is the spring final. So the teams that we have here today, the 8 that qualified, they have continuously since the beginning of the year fought to make it to this event. Some will have gone and dropped down into a more open ecosystem where anyone could essentially make it in. Others will jump straight to this event because of good performance, right? So the winners here, they then are playing to get to the world final, waiting at the end of the year. So we have like 2 blocks of the year, each concluding with a final like this, and then a big event somewhere in the world later this year.
So I know that there's 8 teams competing in this event and 4 already got moved down. Can you tell us all the teams that have competed so far?
Sure, well, we have pretty much, it's the big hitters. Those we have left, which is obviously the most interesting ones, are Imperial. It's a powerhouse. It's a Brazilian team with one of the biggest Counter-Strike legends fallen on that team. Right now playing on stage versus Heroic, a Danish team that somehow manages to pull a US audience to maybe support them a bit as well, even though the others are the favorites. Later today we have Vitality coming off of a fresh major win in Paris. Huge. It's a French organization, so that was a big event. So they're playing here, probably favorites. You asked me before we went live if I had any favorites. I have no favorites, but I will say they're probably good in the running, and they'll be playing against G2, another mega organization. So I feel like out of the teams competing, we have a pretty solid lineup left.
So I know with any esports event, there's a prize pool. Can you tell me what the prize pool is for this event when you win?
Of course, well, so the combined prize pool is $425,000, so obviously quite a significant prize pool, and the winner will take north of $100,000. So it's not insignificant money for those bringing it home. And I don't know if you know, but often in esports ecosystems, the players are going to take pretty much all of that money. So if you see them sweating, fighting, competing, it's because there's big money waiting at the end.
All right, so I have another question. Basically, with esports players, can you give the viewers out there who want to become and get into esports and play in events like this, can you give them some advice?
Of course, so I think best advice would probably be to, obviously you have to play, right? If you want to play, want to be good, have to play a lot. I think try to find local esports ecosystems where you can get better, meet players that are better than you, but also maybe try getting that social connection. In Europe, and I know the collegiate scene here in the US is quite big, it feels like a lot of these ecosystems are emerging. So I think make friends, connect with people online, try to play with rosters that are much better than you, then hopefully you will grow as a player and maybe make it to the end. But I think it's been quite interesting to see that if you look at who have made it, who have risen from nowhere and become superstars, they're humble, they're hungry, they want to learn the game, and they respect the teammates that they're playing with, right? So all the qualities that you know from traditional sport and collaboration, basically.
So earlier you said that there's 2 of these types of events every single year. Can you tell us the other games that you guys play besides Counter-Strike?
For sure. So we operate the competitive ecosystem for Fortnite. That's one. And then we have Rainbow Six as well, where we have some exciting events coming up as well. And those are the 3 big ones that we currently operate. And then we're always in talks with game publishers about future opportunities. In the past, we've done a lot of different games, from Apex to Valorant to Dota to FIFA. So pretty much almost ticking all the boxes of games that exist that you can compete in. But these are like the 3 main pillars that we have now. And I think we always take a quite slow approach to make sure that when we do something, we want to do it best. And we don't want to move too fast into other things and then lose that quality, right? So that's why we're slow creeping into other games and feel like we've done pretty good for ourselves.
All right, so now that I've asked you a question, it's time for you to ask me questions.
Okay, out of all the swagger that you have on you right now, how much have you paid for yourself and how much have your parents paid for?
All right, so definitely my dad and mom have paid the most of it. I bought this shirt, which is only like $20, and then my dad bought my jeans, my mom bought my shoes, and I bought my own hat, so probably like $25, $75.
Do you know if there's any adoptions open in your family? If I'm looking to maybe up my style, get some help?
Maybe, I don't know. You gotta ask my mom and dad about that.
We'll do that off camera afterwards. But yeah, no, love your style. You're killing it, man.
Thank you so much. I have to also thank my stylist out in LA, JR Ghostly, and my stylist out here in DC, Muddy District. Anyways, first of all, thank you for letting me interview you today.
Of course.
For all you viewers out there, we're gonna give you more coverage of this event, and we're even gonna go around and give you a tour. Little Bruce Gamer, out.
DCE has arrived. They made it all the way to the top, and they're crushing the game.
Crushing the game, crushing the game, crushing the game.
Check out Crushing the Game only on DCE. But first, scan the QR code and download the DCE app today. DCE has arrived. For all the cool things going on in DC, check out We Are Washington and scan the QR code to download the DCE app today. Right now. Right now. Do it right now.
What's up, everybody? So before we get back to the game, I like to do this little thing called a lifestyle segment. Basically, we just get out of the game and go to real life. Check this out.
Yeah, I'm outside for real, and that's just how I feel. Make one move, get peeled, and that's just how I feel.
Little Bruce Gamer here. I'm here to see a stylist in LA. Let's go.
And that's just how I feel. Yeah.
What are you hoping to see here? Do you have any idea?
Mostly just jeans, stuff like that, because I don't have any jeans. And yeah, because I grew out on my jeans, so just all jeans.
Been working way too long. The family eats, but it's not great poupon. I'm saying it weak, cause flexing don't make you strong.
So I'm here to get some new clothes for my show and just for casual wearing. And introduce yourself, man.
Okay, I'm JR from Prima Moda, and I know this young man from when he was only 2, and I'm very impressed. Well, Prima Moda is a clothing company. We basically are importers directly from Italy and most of European countries such as Spain, France. Then we supply to retailers. And in this case, this young man would be a private client that's really gonna style. He already has his GQ style, but we're gonna make it a little bit more Euro contemporary / street. Everything is by appointment only. So like in this case now, this young man just walked in, and the next 30 minutes, 1 hour or 2 will be solely dedicated to him. No interruption, no anybody coming in and asking, can I do this, to distract my attention from achieving his goal today.
Let's just keep it real. Still, I'm outside for real, and that's just how I feel. Yeah, I'm outside for real, and that's just how I feel.
Since he's a very young gentleman and he has a particular style of his own, we're trying to stay within that comfort zone, but make it a little bit contemporary. Like this jacket is very light and it's embroidered with background of black with navy. And his jeans have some accents that pick up the sneakers, the Air Jordan. So how do you feel?
I feel good. I like the pants.
Cool.
But that's just how I feel. Yeah.
When you travel, this wraps it up. You can So I'd like to see that. These are one of a kind collectibles and the collaboration with Moe Guitar. These are things that we hold for shoots, like special shoots. And we're not allowed to sell it to the general public because you have to go to the boutique to buy it. But for prepping, for background shoots, and for the movie shoots, we do renders.
Make one move, get peeled, and that's just how I feel. Streets don't eat you up, let's just keep it real. Still, I'm outside for real.
And the other aspect is basically we do walk into a lot of the industry, and when they come similar to the situation we have with young brews, my stylist basically, they give me the list of what they need for their actors or actresses, and it's our job to make that happen. And some of the designer goods that you see are the remnants. We specialize in off-price pieces. In Gucci, say we have 20 units remaining. We buy it because we can always use it for events like this. We try not to interrupt the markets because that benefits the stores. You need it, go down to the boutiques and buy it. You come to us, it's mostly for the movie industry, rental. When we're done, then we can sell the floor sample.
Hey guys, Little Brisk Gamer here. Today I had a wonderful time shopping with JR and getting myself a new outfit. Thank you.
Cheers, man. It was easy working with you because everything fits. Yeah, you make it easy. You
Can't
don't.
wait to be back.
We look forward to that. It was a true pleasure.
Well, guys, make sure to play responsibly. I'll be shooting more episodes in LA soon. Little Brisk Gamer, out.
Hey everybody, we're back from commercial. Now we're gonna take a tour around the building. Let's go.
Let's go. This way, everyone. So this is essentially what a pro player booth looks like. And we can go all the way in. So what you see here is essentially a booth that every player plays in when they play in one of these competitions. You can sit down if you want. So what we have here is let me break it down. We have a player camera. So this camera always on, filming you, the player. That is to make sure that when we put that image into the game, then when you are playing in the game and we're showing your gameplay, then we can put that image on top of that, right? So all of a sudden we've created a bit of a human connection to the digital player inside the games. They're then playing with this headset on. So this headset comes from a company that specializes in Air Force. You probably can't hear anything now. Can you hear anything I'm saying?
It's really good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a company that specializes in Air Force grade type of microphones and headsets. And what's interesting about it is we, of course, when the tournament is being played, want to make sure that the players can't hear anything. This is what helps with that, right? So they'll get game sound and they'll get their own comms into this so they can hear each other when they're sitting on a line. And then you see the green light here on the side. When you're wearing the headset and it seals so that we make sure you can't hear anything, if that seal breaks, the sound seal, this will begin showing other colors like yellow or red, meaning that the officials, you know, the referees, if you will, who are standing on the side, they can see, hang on, we've lost, you know, the audio on this guy and we need to seal that again for this to have, you know, competitive integrity. And then behind you, sponsor backdrop. And this is obviously all the partners that help bring this to life, and, you know, big shout out to all of those. Of course, ourselves, we have a platform where you can go in and watch, blast.tv it's called. And all these partners help us around the world to make events special, and this is no different. So, and then you have a big PC, and the way it works is, do you know what an SSD is?
Yes.
Yeah. So the SSD is basically the hard drive of the computer. So the framework of the computer stays the same, but you as the pro player get one specific SSD that is yours. That is to make sure that when you need to move around from this stage to another, then we pop out your SSD and plug it in where you need to sit on the main stage. That way we know that when you boot up the computer, everything is in the settings that you would want.
So tell us about this monitor. I can tell it's really nice and it's pretty big too.
It's a super nice monitor, and I think when you look at the game, and maybe we can capture that here at the tournament as well, when you see the pro players play on these monitors, they all set them up differently. Right now it's just a black screen, but when it's live, you know, they will have their own ways of setting up the video game, everything that plays out. So some of them will change the size of the game, as you've probably seen as well. So that's why this is very religious. Everyone has a certain way to set things up. We even have some pro players with the table that they're on coming out with tape measure, to make sure it's the exact height that we've promised them.
How long has that match been going on that's over there?
So we are just about to end on our second map, I believe. I think Heroic took the first one. That is the Danish team that are on US soil. And then I think it is the Brazilians they're rooting for. So the Brazilians are strangely enough getting a USA chant. But I mean, when has a USA chant never really worked for a lot of things, right?
So how many rounds are there?
So you play up to 16 rounds, and then you play best of 3 maps. So that's why, before the whole match starts, there's a pick and ban phase is what it's called. So if we're 2 opposing teams, then you might have some favorite maps that you want to play because you think you can win. I will have my own. So we each take turn at picking and banning maps, which then ultimately decides the 3 maps that will be played. So a lot of strategic, tactical insights go into me playing mind games with you when we're picking maps against each other. So that's the best of 3 ecosystem, basically.
So tell us a little bit about the Eureka ergonomic chair.
So Eureka is a company that does gaming chairs, as you can feel, pretty good quality, and I think a lot of lumbar support, which is needed. And the players sit on these for countless hours at a time, both when they're playing, but also when they're practicing, waiting for the matches to start. So they just need peak comfort, and that's why, again, you can see this is adjusted in a certain way. Sometimes with these pros, I talked about before, they have very specific opinions on what a table should be and how high it should be. Chair is no different. So you'll sometimes even see that they customize the gaming chairs. Some maybe want to remove one armrest because that's just how they sit and play, so it's in the way. All these things we try to take into account.
All right, so let's head to the next area now.
Let's go. So we're going to go into the inner workings of our production room, and let's start with the World Feed audio room. So we're going to be a little bit quiet in here because the guy who sits there, hi Klaus, it's Klaus. He's one of the best audio engineers in the world. So what he oversees and why he needs his own little private room here is because he needs to listen to the audio quality on everything that goes out, right? So the World Feed, that is the feed that goes out to everyone that are big broadcasters that need the feed to then do their own broadcast on top of it. So much like you see when ESPN are maybe broadcasting NFL, then they're getting a feed from most likely the NFL that they then build their own production on top of, right? It's similar here, that we essentially build our own production, give it out to all the different takers, as we call them. So that's television stations all over the world, and they want and expect the best audio, right? So he's managing all of that. And we're sending this out to several 100,000 millions at home that are tuning in, right? So its quality is super important.
All right, let's head to another room now.
Let's go. Thanks, Klaus.
So, talk about what's going on over there. I see a bunch of players, and I did not hear any sound. They seem so focused.
So this is the television production. So this is the inner workings of everything that goes out into the whole world. So what we essentially have in here is when you watch any sports broadcast, you kind of need the same kind of formula of things and people to make that happen. When you watch sports, you need replays, right? If you miss something or something was great, you want to see it again. You want to see it in super slow. All of that happens from here. All the graphics that you see, when a nameplate pops up or other big graphics that come in and change what the show is, all of that happens from here. And then you'll notice, if you look at the guy sitting with the headset on and pushing buttons and the short sleeve shirt, he's the director of the whole show. So he essentially runs everything that happens on the show and broadcast, and everyone else is working to support him. So they're building highlight packages and clips that he then plays out when he wants to play it out.
So how do you edit this stuff in real time?
Well, that's a great question. So in front of him, he has like a massive mixer, is what it's called. It has tons of buttons, and every single button does something. So that could either be changed to another camera, it could be to send the graphics in. So he essentially edits this in real time and gets support to do that by another team that's also sitting here. Every single camera, every single graphic, everything will feed into that mixer and have a button. So when you see the commentators, the reason why you can see them here in the production is because we film the commentators during the whole match. So one thing is what happens when we're live. Another thing is what can we put on social media. Some of the stuff that people react quite well to is seeing the casters, which is what you call them, the commentators, see video clips of them commentating games, because normally the game is live, right? So you would never see them, but often they have quite big and wild reactions when they're commentating and they're jumping out of their chairs because of a big play, right? So we try to film them all the time to capture some good social media bits.
All right, let's head somewhere else now.
Cool.
Ludicrous Gamer, out.
DCE has arrived. DKN Sports coverage is on DCE right now. So scan the QR code and download DCE app today. Go do it right now and check out our sports. Oh!
Dreamers life. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, Little Bruce Gamer here. Hi, President Gates. I'm hanging out at the eBlast International Esports Competition at Events DC's Entertainment Sports Arena. Can you tell us about Events DC?
I'm Angie Gates, President and CEO of Events DC, the official convention and sports authority for Washington, D.C., right here in the nation's capital. I am so delighted that we have an opportunity to focus on sports, but esports in particularly. That is such a wonderful opportunity to bring the community together, bring the gamers together, to bring everyone together collectively, to just really do something fun and exciting and really to diversify our audience throughout our portfolio of venues. So we have several venues here under our Events DC umbrella. My office is here at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. We have the Apple flagship store, also known as Carnegie Library, but where we had some exciting esports opportunity was at our Entertainment and Sports Arena, right in Ward 8 in Washington, D.C. We also have RFK Stadium, Gateway Pavilion, Nats Park, where we have baseball, and the list can go on and on. But we really took a concerted effort to focus on esports, and what I love about esports is the generation that it touches. I mean, the youth, such as Little Bruce from Little Bruce Gamer, to our adults, the parents. It's really a family fun event and opportunity. So I'm really excited about that.
So, what do you feel is important about the Little Bruce Gamer Show as it relates to people of color, especially kids who love to play video games?
Well, I think anytime that there's a youth and an opportunity to be creative and express entrepreneurship, that says a lot. So I am so pleased and am delighted that little Bruce is doing this. I mean, it's another generation coming up. I mean, he learned from his father, Bruce Walker Sr., and it's just delightful to watch the father's son and the son following the dad's footsteps, because not only focusing on the gaming industry, but it's everything that goes into producing this show. It's writing, it's content, it's product analysis. It's all of those things, and it really touches the lives not only for the people that are local and regionally, but this has an international and a global impact. And that's very important. When you look at the gaming industry in general, the percentage for people of color that participate is lower than what you may see in another sport. So anytime there's an exposure to people that look like you, come up in an environment, in a culture, in a community that you've been a part of, it's an opportunity to say, hey, you're embracing and you're welcoming that particular sport. So it's so important. And although it's little Bruce and we think it's youth concentrated, it also touches the adults and the parents. So this is so important. It's not only creative content, but it creates the intellectual thought as well. And you actually get to engage with people around the globe. You can be sitting right here in the nation's capital and interacting with someone from Japan. That's important. And you don't know what type of friendships and opportunities that can be lifelong built from that.
All right, so do you play any video games?
I do. I in my cabinet at home right now, and I'm kind of old school, I actually have a joystick that you can, plug into, the AUX cable box and start playing. It's a Pac-Man. My favorite was Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. So Blinky, Inky, Pinky, and Clyde, all of that is like fun memories. And I used to be a boxer, so I'm a beast on the joystick. I'm a beast on the joystick, gobbling up monsters. I also used to do Donkey Kong, back in the day. But I would say most recently, there was a Red Bull event that took place in the E-Game Sports. And I literally, we were at the Lincoln Theater, and we had these, clappers watching watching the two teams interact. That was quite fun. But, you know, if you missed our Blast premiere that was at the Entertainment and Sports Arena, oh gosh, you missed a treat. So that was great, and it was focused on the Counter-Strike teams. That was wonderful. So I have a little kid in me. It's not all fun and grown up all the time.
All right, so we're gonna take a little bit of a break from the competition and go behind the scenes and talk about how you can make gaming a career. All right, so I'm here with Ethan. Ethan, tell us how you took your gaming skills and applied it to education.
Well, when I was graduating high school, I started out by going to community college, but then soon I saw an esports degree open up, so I applied to go to Shenandoah University, and they have an esports management degree, which is basically like sports management, but teaching you more about the business of esports.
So tell us how you got into gaming.
I got into gaming when I was really young. My dad plays a bunch, so he actually got me into Lego Star Wars, and I used to play with him all the time. You could do the 2 people playing at once, so that was kind of my intro into gaming.
All right, so what is your favorite video game?
Right now, it definitely has to be Overwatch. I play a ton of Overwatch. I coach for the team at our school, and I've been a big fan since the beta came out.
All right, so tell us how gaming can be beneficial to character building.
I think it's a lot like sports, and where you learn, especially team games, how to work with other people, communicate, and then on a more personal level, you have to learn a lot of the skills like practice and dedication, how to use your time well, and make sure you're always being effective with your time.
All right, so what are your classes like? I know you definitely have gaming as one of them.
Yeah, well, the classes are mostly business classes, so a lot of the things that you go over are kind of like sports management and how you would run a team, economics of building a team and running a company, stuff like that. And also we have classes based on performance, so we have an esports performance class, which kind of talks about like the diet, nutrition, workout, and those kind of things that go into making sure you're performing at the highest level consistently.
All right, so after college, do you have any plans of going into an esports career or maybe coaching an esports team?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to coach a professional esports team. I would love to do kind of like youth coaching or work event management like this, helping put on these giant esports events.
All right, so thank you for letting me interview you today.
Of course, it's been fun. Thank you for having me.
So right now I'm here with Brad. Thank you for letting me interview you, first of all.
Absolutely.
All right, so how did you get into the esports college, and how did you expand your knowledge and find out about it?
Well, you know, honestly, it just kind of fell together. I was kind of bored one day, and I knew I was going to have to go to college eventually, so I looked up esports education online, and Shenandoah University happened to pop up. I visited, and it kind of all fell together from there. I've been involved in esports ever since I started gaming, so back in 2012, used to play Call of Duty back in the day. Shout out Call of Duty Black Ops 2, best COD ever. But yeah, no, I've been involved. I've been doing a lot of good stuff here, mostly in event operations, so putting out fires, making sure everyone's good to go, has everything they need.
All right, so give the gamers out there some advice that maybe want to go to esports college and get involved in esports.
So the biggest advice I would give is to make your own story. You know, a lot of esports right now is kind of figuring out what you want to do, right? There's so many different verticals in esports. You can work in almost anything in business in esports. You know, you could do coaching, you know, medical, all that type of stuff. So find something you really like, make it your own, and work on it yourself.
All right, so how did you get into gaming originally?
Well, I got into gaming because my brother handed me down his old Xbox 360, and didn't have internet back in the day, so I was playing Need for Speed Underground 2 and started there. Finally got internet, played Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and that was like my main game. Grinded that a lot, and that kind of got me into more like the competitive mindset. Once I got competitive, I finally built my first computer and started actually playing CS, so that's a game being played today.
All right, so what do you think are the top 3 games for this summer?
Top 3 games for this summer. Well, I'm gonna have to shout out CS. You know, we're all kind of expecting CS2 to drop sometime soon, so that's gonna be a huge update to the game. So definitely CS2. I'm a personal fan of Overwatch, so Overwatch 2, big game, one of my favorites. I actually play on my university's team, so love Overwatch. And then my number 3 is gonna have to be Rocket League. Fantastic game, super great mechanical, easy to learn, hard to master, can be picked up by anyone.
All right, so you talked about Overwatch. How is Overwatch? I haven't even played it yet. And give some tips to the viewers out there on how to play.
Yeah, so Overwatch is it's a 5v5 team-based shooter. You have different roles, so you have your supports, damage, and tanks. So everyone kind of does their own thing, and you have your own job in game, right? The biggest thing I would give to advice to new players for Overwatch is to watch your VODs. Go to your replays, watch what you're doing, you know, see how you can improve, see what your teammates are doing, see what's working for you, see what's not, and adapting.
All right, so what's your favorite game currently, and how did you get into it?
My favorite game currently is probably Counter-Strike. Like I said, I started playing Counter-Strike. It was my first competitive game on computer. So first got internet, first got my PC, launched up Counter-Strike. I think I have about 1,500 hours on the game. So it's fantastic. I mean, the fans have been great today. I mean, the Counter-Strike community is fantastic. So super fun to play. Really hard game, you know. But once you get it going, it's really, really enjoyable.
Well, thank you for letting me interview you today.
Absolutely, man.
All right, so now we're going to interview some of the players that are playing all the way down there. First of all, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
All right, so first, can you tell the viewers out there your name, just so they know?
My name is Richard Landstrom, also known as Exist in-game.
All right, so what things that you did in this match do you think you can improve on?
What thing?
What could you improve on what you did in last match?
Well, I think that we lost a lot of advantages this game, basically on all maps. Fallen won like a 1-on-4, something like that on Inferno, and Vini defused 1-on-3, for example, and I think we could have closed it out earlier on Nuke T as well. We had some really good calls, but we just couldn't like trade out the kills. Yeah.
So how did you get started playing CSGO?
Well, I mean, I was playing 1.6 before, and then I transitioned into CSGO when that came out. Yeah, that's the story.
All right, thank you for letting me interview you.
Thank you, man.
Hi, I'm Ludibris Gamer. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, for the viewers out there, could you tell them who you are?
I'm Tessus, playing for Heroic.
All right, congratulations on your win, first of all. So what things did you do in the last match you think you could improve on?
There's definitely many things. Finding our momentum a little bit quicker and finding solutions. Have a really slow starts on the 3 maps, I would say. It put us in a bad start, and of course you will struggle then.
What are you proud of that you did in your last match?
Keeping our heads cool, even though we came into overtime, but we've tried that many times before and throw the game a little bit away, but then managing to keep cool and like taking it back in OT, so proud.
How did you get started playing CSGO?
It was CSGO. I played the earlier games called Condition Zero back then, and that was because of my older brother, which played it a lot, and that made me wanting to play it as well.
All right, well, thank you for letting me interview you. All right, have a great rest of your day, and enjoy the finals.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone. So we just finished the match, and it was great. What did you think about it?
I thought it was a very, very good match. I think we got spoiled. So, you know, in these best of 3 battles, when it goes the full distance and overtime, it's kind of, yeah, couldn't have scripted it better, and I'm just thankful for the teams giving us such a show.
So what do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
That's a very, very big and good question. The next match that we have ahead of us right now, that is going to be a slugfest. It's 2 titans going up against each other. So I think from here on out, I feel comfortable we're going to get an incredible final. And who knows, I think Heroic was showing good form, but the teams we're about to see play now, one of them could take it.
This is extremely important event to the DC area. First of all, because it's one of the first international esports gaming competitions to come to DC. How does this benefit you on your end as well?
When you have a city like DC who are, you know, welcoming with open arms, wanting to help with incentives, making it affordable, you know, making it reasonable to come and do events in cities like this, that changes the whole landscape for when we try to plan these events. So, you know, loved being in DC, can't wait for the final to happen here, and who knows, maybe it won't be the last time that we'll swing by.
Well, thank you for letting me come here today.
Thank you, appreciate it. Can I have your sneakers?
No.
Had to try.
So much fun here today. The competition is literally ruthless. I wish the next round of players luck. Anyways, I'd like to thank Events DC, eBlast TV, and GM Gates, Discover TV, and the DC Network. I'd also like to thank every single other network that carries my show, and you, the viewers out there. Anyways, I encourage you all to come down to this event. It is so much fun. Anyways, I'll catch you on the next episode of Ludibris Gamer. Ludibris Gamer, out.
Yeah, for sure, we can tell you some things we can make it even better.